something along with the main output, you can also get some byproducts. In that case, you can have multiple outputs received, but out of that you have to define one as your main output. So this is the product for which you are going to process. And if you have multiple outputs, you can also define the costing percentage to be calculated accordingly. So let's say the input value is 1000 and you want your main product to be 95% of the input value and rest of the 5% of the value to be accommodated to the byproduct what you are getting. So that can be given. So in the example, I have just taken straight away one output and inputs. So you can try out multiple options. So if you have anything, like, you can come. Okay, so in the input grid, what you can see is like, so we have procurement type. So in basic production, this is all like you're going to do manually. Okay, you can define the scrap percentage. Okay, so there is a fixed quantity, round of quantity, and tolerance percentage. Round of quantity is like if your calculation is coming to like points, decimals low, it will round up to the next number. So is fixed quantity is nothing but if any of the raw material, irrespective of the quantity you are producing, if that quantity raw material is required only a specific value, then is fixed quantity will be used. Okay, so this is all about the bill of material what we have. Then I'll move on to the production order, how we are going to add the production order. So, and one more thing, you have option to import the bill of material. So we have this option, you can just import from an Excel sheet. Okay, there is a specific format to import, like if it is required, I can share you with you all. Okay, now moving on to production order. So this is the screen wherein you are going to enter the production order. This is quite simple, like you have to manually type in. So here I will just start with one settings. So here, if you can see, the production order series is CHA-2. So this is user definable. If you want to follow any of the series, so you can just define it here. Here for the presentation, I have taken product uh, as the voucher series I want to generate. And if you can see the starting character number of characters I took is like 3 characters, and I have a character input and increment. So whatever the product, what is the product you are selecting, accordingly first 3 characters of the product name with an incremental value will be your production order number. Okay, so if you're not defining any order series, it will defaultly take PO1, PO2 like that. So the moment I select a product, just for example, so you can see the moment I selected backseat, it is showing you BAC-1. So for now we have only one bill of material, which is chair. So I'll straight away start with that production order. Okay, so you're going to select the chair. Pieces units are coming from the master, and the bill of material is auto selected. So if you have multiple bill of materials for the same item, so you can just select which BOM you want to use. By default, system would be picking the default BOM which is attached in the item master. Okay, I'm just giving some quantity, 20 quantity. So if you want to issue and receive warehouse wise, you can do that, or else you can just ignore this and you can just give normal warehouse there. Okay, so I'm making it released and I'm just saving it. So I have generated one production order. Okay, so I think I have to remove these things. Okay, so I have chosen an option wherein on adding of a production order, issue and receipt from production should be automatically raised. So let me remove one by one and I'll show later on. So I'll go to the settings, production. So here I have just use this, so it is showing. I'll just update. I'll remove all the settings now and I'll just show a normal transaction. Then we'll see how each and every option works. I'll just start with one more production order. just putting 10 now. So I'm just saving. I have just created a production order number, and the next step would be
Naveen, go a little slow. You are too fast, please.
Okay. So I have created one production order now. So which is chair 3 for 10 quantity. I've just selected quantity. I didn't mention any warehouse. I just released. And next transaction would be, next step would be issues to production. I'll just select that particular production order, and automatically system will load me the production quantity. And they, in the bill of material, in the production order, I have not selected any warehouse, so it is not auto picking anything. So I'll just select the production order where I have stock. Okay, so before that, I'll just show you the stock quantities. I've added some opening stock. So which is in FG warehouse. Okay, I'll just use the same FG warehouse, and you can see that. I'm just selecting the batch number. I'll just use batch option also. This is not mandatory. If it can also be used without batches. So if you have batches, you have to just select this. So I'm selecting the batch from where I'm issuing the raw material, which is nothing but our consumption document. I'm just saving this. And next will be my receipt from production. So in basic production, there won't be any planning. Everything is manual. You have to add a production order. You have to do issues to production, and you have to do receipt from production. Everything manual. Okay. And for receiving item, yes, you give your batch number. Let's say FG batch FGB1. I'm just giving one sample number, FGB1. This is the batch. So it gets automatically updated in the respective warehouse, and you can see that stock schedule. Okay. So receipt from quantity. I have just made 2 transactions here. Okay. This is the latest transaction what we have done today. Okay. And I'll just take you to the options what we have and the preferences. In the production, you can see we have option 1 called raise issues and receipt voucher when production order is raised. So it is it means that the moment you punch a production order, automatically a issue and receipt voucher will be raised by the system. So this is one option wherein, like, if it is fixed, like if they want to automate, then this can be used. So I'll just take this. I'm updating. I'll just show you how it works. Just log out and log in. So again, I have chair here. I'm just making 30 quantity now with a different quantity. And my warehouse is FG because I have stock in that. Just saving the document.
You have not released it. Order status, you have not changed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. And this you have to release and save. So here you can see issues to production and receipt for production voucher got saved on saving of a production. This is done automatically. So go back to the screen of issues to production. So 4 is the issues to production. You can see everything got auto loaded with respect to the quantity what you are producing.
Now here, I would like to tell one thing. Now in your issues to production or receipts on production, if you are adding any tags or any
So,
mandatory field,
okay.
which is not captured in the production order, in such scenarios, the issue to production and receipt on production will be raised, but will be in a suspended mode.
Suspended mode, and we have to get into that issue to production voucher, and you have to update that tax. There could be one more scenario. You might not have stock, but you have allowed it to post with the negative stock. So then it will be in that suspended mode. So this particular option will be used wherein like they have abundant stock and they that to reduce the data entry. So usually what happens after the production is done, they'll just make an entry of production order. So just to make keep the books in line. So more those companies would use this option. And here there is one disadvantage is that you are not manually entering any issue and receipt document. And the disadvantage is that it will only post as per the bill of material. If there is any variation, you want to issue manually more quantity, then that will not be captured in this particular option. So we need to, choose whether where it is applicable. Okay, and moving on to the second option, and I can raise issue to production and receipt from production voucher on sale document. Okay, the moment you select a say you give a sale document, then it automatically raises uh, issues a production order as well as issue and receipt. All these three options. I'll show you raise production order and PIR. PIR is planned independent requirement, and raise issue to production and receipt from production vouchers and sale. These are the one by one. I'll just take.
डोसी बना रहे ए दी काय की बात आ रही है दी बेकार वाली वही दी
You can see this 100. So it is not prompting any message, but it is internally making everything. Okay. So these are the options what we have, and you can use batch wise material. I mean, RMA, batch, when everything is applicable here. It works. And what else you have? Yes. Okay. There are apart from this, so this is a sample flow, and next thing is you also have a BOM process. Okay, BOM process is nothing but you are defining the process. Let's say you have the bill of material plot chair. So there is two processes. Let's say assembly 1 and assembly 2. Okay, so if you wanted to have what are the stage wise, like assembly 1, what are the raw materials you are giving, and in stage 2, what are the raw materials you are giving, so that you are getting the output. So if you want to define something by process, so you have an option for this to enable. So you must use issue process wise. I'll just show you the option. setting where you have to do this. Allow user to issue process wise issues and receipt. So if you take this, so it will ask you to enter the process name in the issues to production. Okay, you can have sub process here. Okay, this will become mandatory. So this option will be enabled only when you select the option. Okay, for this you need to create a BOM process. So I need to have for creating BOM process, I need to have a master called process. I'll just add that process master. So in the process, what you're going to do is you're going to create all the process name, just name of the process. Let's say assembly one. Let's say assembly two. So these are the two stages, because in chair I am just making only these two things. So if you have like, you can make cutting process, punching, or whatever, like whatever the process you have, you can just create it. So I am going to start a BOM process, create a BOM process now. So in the BOM process, I'll be selecting the bill of material for which I want to create the process. So here you can find add process. So the moment you click on that, a pop-up opens, which will give you the list of all the assemblies. So I'll just select one process. So this is the first process for this bill of material. Let's say I have got all the.
One moment. See, what you're doing is you're showing whatever is
material
already
requisition has been carried forwarded in this screen, and this, based on this number, we will be doing the quotation analysis.
Hello.
So these are the 4 requests I have raised. So instead of the best feature about this is that instead of going and converting each material request
I
for a
can't hear
vendor,
you. I can't. You are not audible, sir.
you will be doing it through raise request for
Somebody is speaking in
where you for the 4 vendors at
Let me hide mute all. Oh God. Right. What I was asking is, you are showing the whole flow, but you're not explaining. There are a lot of things in each screen which probably you're not using right now, but there is some use of each field that is given on each screen, right?
Sir.
So it's better if you at the same time explain the requirement of those things, or where it is being used, or how that's going to be used, etc. Like you like in this screen, I can see that there is a costing percentage and main output and the quantity. So if something is explained on each of these things as well, so maybe what you're doing in that, you're not using that process, but for somebody who needs that tomorrow, he can use those options as well. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Actually, the point I have explained, this main output and costing percentage in the bill of material level, sir. So it is same.
No,
so
I'm not just talking about this particular screen.
Okay.
All
okay, sir.
Right.
Okay, sir. I'll do that. I'll explain each and everything what is being visible here. Can I continue?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. So this is the BOM process screen. So here we are going to create the BOM process. So what we do is, like, we are going to select the bill of material for which we want to create BOM process. BOM process is nothing but we are defining the sequence of steps which are going to happen in this production process. So here you have add process. I'm just adding the process. Like if you click on add process, a new pop-up comes wherein you will get all the list of process So you can select any of the process which is like the sequence. So in the first process, the moment you select the process, system will load all the raw materials which are available from the bill of material. Here you can see logo sheet, back sheet, all these things are defined in the bill of material. Now you have to give what are the raw materials, what is the input in this particular process. If you have only one process, so all of your raw materials will be consumed here. Okay, so now I'm just making in the first assembly, I'm just taking only lower seat, back seat and legs. So you're going to give this. So I'm not getting any output here because like this is a continuous production. So what I'm doing is I'm just using lower seat, back seat, leg in the first assembly, and I'm just making some process, and I'm adding a new process called assembly 2, wherein the output of the first process along with my handle and wheels are joining here, and at this moment I'm getting my main output, let's say. So I'll simply click this button. So wherever whichever process you are getting the main output, you can just select this option, pick product, so it automatically loads the finished good of the bill of material, and you have to say main output. Okay, so you have to click this. So what is the purpose? Like in the last process, obviously you would be receiving your main output. Okay, and so why we need to select this option main output? Let us say in the assembly 1, so you are doing some assembly process, not in example of chair, but if you have any other production item, let's say you have got a number few list of raw materials, you have input some raw materials in the process 1, there you are getting an intermediate item or you are receiving. Then you will just select the what is the intermediate item you are receiving, but that will not become your main output. Okay, so and you will move on to that whenever you are selecting that it is not main output, and that item will be shown as quantity to issue in the further down. So whether it can be or it cannot be, it's up to the production what you're doing. So in some cases there could be like you will get an intermediate which is directly saleable and it updates your inventory. You need not to use that in the further session. So it all depends. So in that case, for that, what is the costing percentage you are defined? So here you can see the costing percentage value. So out of the total raw material value, what is the cost you want to incur for that particular output is what you are defining here. So if you are receiving any intermediate product, okay, in the first level, wherein you have mentioned it as 20%, then simultaneously, I mean by default in the next process when you are receiving your main output, it shows you 80% of the total value. Okay, now I'm just having two processes. In the first process, I'm issuing three of the raw materials, and in the second process, I'm considering 2 raw materials to be used. So I've just saved. So my BOM process is saved. If you just reopen and check, so here you can see lower seat, back seat, and legs are part of first process, and rest of the quantity showing 0. And in the second process, you can see handle and wheel are part of this process, and rest of the thing I don't have. So and there is, you can also use like this. For example, there is a raw material. So on a whole, you require 10 quantity, but in that 10 quantity is used partially in different process. In the process 1, you can use like 4 quantity of that, and in the process 2, you might use like 4 the rest of the quantity, or the quantity can be split across the process from your overall BOM quantity. So even that option is there. So remove process is nothing but if you have just at the time of configuration you might have done a wrong entry, so just it simply removes that process and you can just add it. This is the option. And for one BOM, there will be only one active BOM process. You cannot maintain multiple versions of the BOM process. So this is mandatory. One thing need to be considered. So at any given point of time, there will be one BOM process for one BOM. So if there is any change that you wanted to make, then you have to delete and just create a new one. So now for this, I'll just go to the normal this thing option again. I'll just untick all these things. I'll show you manual process of how it is done one by one. So I'm adding the production order now. Just put in some 40 quantity so that we have different numbers. Just reducing. Okay. So now I'm going to issues to production. So you'll have process to be selected. It is mandatory. You see, I select assembly. Only the items which are required in the process one would show. Okay, you select the batch. So this gives a customer an impression that we are following the basic production is being done with all the process names involved. So it gives him like a picture. He's using the full-fledged production model by process, stage-wise production process. We go back to assembly. So the quantity required, it is already issued. So it will show 0 quantity. Okay. Here you can see the balance quantity here. And in the meantime, if you are trying to receive also, it will just show me. It will show the batch. Okay. In receipt from production. So if you select the assembly one, so there won't be any output. Okay. So if you select the output to only, you will just get on selection of the specific process name where you are going to receive. So why we are displaying all the process is that like there is a chance that you may receive intermediate items or any byproduct. So we are showing all the list, but you need to select the appropriate process name so that the relevant product would come. Okay, this is all about BOM process. And after this, we have got reports. So consumption report is like within a date range, like you're going to get like what are the raw materials for the main production, and also the item what got consumed and for which production order and what is the document. This is regular report, and this is production register. So you can see production receipt from production watches, all the production, whatever production happened. This is production register. And here I'll show you certain things which are related to MRP. BOM details report. You can see, you can select the bill of material, and you can see what is the BOM name, finished good, and raw materials. Okay, and what is the quantity and rate. So this is picking from the average rate. So what is the rate? So you can just have it. Scrap type, all these things are picking from the bill of material. Next thing what we have is production summaries. Summaries also just numbers for the, yeah. You can have this production order status report. You can see I'm just selecting all, so you can see status. So whether it is finished, work in progress, all those things you can just see this. These are some reports what we have. Okay. Next thing is like, so in the basic production what we have is like, so this is all manual entries you are doing. So if there is any change in the rate, let's say you have purchased, so if there is any change in the purchase rate of the raw material, if you want to automatically, change the cost of the raw material issues as well as receipts. So you have, and we have an option called refresh rate. So what this does is that, so this functionality, you have to select the transactions from date and to date. So within the transaction date, if there is any change in the raw material price, okay, so it automatically recalibrates and updates the new date. So this functionality we have in basic production. I'll just show you that. Got some open stocks. So with some rate, let's say changing some rate.